Hey guys, Roman Reaper here, back with a quick little, new release, cinema trip time. So, as you can see by my t-shirt, it's time for a new Marvel, Eternals. Now, I know, like, no one has been looking forward to this, no one and their dog have been hyping this film up, but to be honest, I'm quite interested in seeing this one, like, just because it looks very different to all the other MCU movies. Like, if Shang-Chi was kind of the stepping off point, if you will, then this could mark like a new direction for like filmmaker driven superhero filmmaking. Like, and obviously it's directed by Chloe Zhao, who made the Best Picture winner this year, Nomadland. So, with pedigree like that and the star-studded cast, surely this ought to be good. I mean, but yeah, head off to the cinema in a bit to see Eternals and give you my thoughts when I get back. But right now, it's time to go see Eternals. I'm outside the cinema now, ready to watch Eternals. So I've got my popcorn here, my frozen Coke, and I am ready to watch Eternals. So yeah, I'm back from seeing Eternals, the latest film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Uh, Now the thing to note going in is that this has been getting, unusually divisive reviews for Marvel. It's obviously normally, Marvel, normally their films are met with glowing praise, certified fresh, all the time. But not this time. No, no, no. See, this is an entirely different proposition. Like, this is an entirely new vision of what a Marvel film should look like, and I don't think some critics are like on like this on this wavelength. If you know what I mean, but even taking forgetting the reviews from even before this film, the reviews came out. Like, there's been not quite an agenda. Maybe it is if you're watching Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers all the time, but like, there's been almost kind of an agenda against this film. Like, some people kind of want this film to fail, almost dismissing it as like, oh, it's too woke. It's all this diversity. Oh. But to be honest, when you actually go and see the film, it's utilized pretty well within the story, and it's never made, and it's never just diversity for the sake of diversity. Like they're not just like doing it to say, "Hey, look, we can appeal to this group. Come on, give us more money." Like it does like serve the characters, and they feel like fleshed out characters in their own right. And to be honest, yeah, I really enjoyed Eternals. Overall, this was a really, really solid entry into the MCU. A very fresh and bold new take, which I think was what we needed. As I said earlier, Shang-Chi kind of served as the stepping off point again. I'm sorry I didn't review that, but I did really enjoy it. However much Shang-Chi kind of succumbed to the formula, it at least marked a bold enough new direction that you can kind of get a glimpse that Marvel are maybe deciding to take Phase 4 in a more filmmaker-focused direction. Yeah, this is very much filmmaker-focused. Like, Chloe Zhao just... You can tell, like, Kevin Feige let her do whatever she wanted, and it worked a treat. The cinematography is just so lush that there's tons of like beautiful like natural location shots, and it absolutely pays off shooting on location, because it makes the film feel it helps ground the film, almost make it feel more authentic and feel more tangible and real. However however mythic the story gets, the decision to use actual locations for shooting instead of like the usual blue screen and green screens really worked a treat here. Some big shots that just look gorgeous. It worked a treat for Denis Villeneuve, and it's working here. Seriously, studios, let filmmakers do this more often. And the storyline is suitably big and ambitious for the technical beauty. It's a story that spans several millennia, starts from like essentially the beginning of time to the modern day, spanning various different points in like human evolution. I'm gonna try and keep this spoiler free, obviously, just so you can go and see it for yourself and make your own opinion. But the whole world building of this film was really compelling to me, and that it does get a little like, it's a little jumpy for the first while. With all this like setup, all these like flashbacks and all these different characters introduced, because there's 10 lead characters here. So the story tends to jump around quite a bit for like the first like maybe 45 minutes, possibly, as it introduces all of them and kind of sets up the history of the Eternals on Earth. And for how jumpy it gets, it does do a pretty good job of developing most of these 10 characters, which I was not expecting at all. Like everyone gets a journey. They all have developed personalities, and we kind of like we learn about them and flesh them out over the course of the film. Like the long run time helps with that. It's the second longest, well, third longest I believe now, because No Way Home has supposedly taken this title, but is one of the longest films in the MCU, and kind of needed to be to cover all that ground. However, not every character kind of gets this kind of development. Macari, the deaf one, is kind of left to the sidelines a bit, which might be bit disappointing to like those in the deaf community, like looking for some positive representation in a big blockbuster like this. But the character did have a cool power though. But uh, also the lead Eternal Ajax, played by Salma Hayek, was also kind of left in the sidelines as well. You'll understand why when you see the film, but yeah, there were a few of the characters as well. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the character of Kingo, played by Kumail Nanjiani. I thought him and his valet were very funny. I also quite enjoyed the character of Gilgamesh, played by Don Lee, who you'll probably recognize this guy as the guy in Train to Busan whose wife is heavily pregnant and they can't seem to agree on the baby's name. But I'm glad he's getting like a Hollywood blockbuster, and he was good, and he had some funny moments as well. And I also really enjoyed the character Fastos, who we see as like but I believe he's the first gay character in the MCU, and I thought he was pretty cool. Like again, he has funny moments and and kind of some kind of tragic stuff as well in his past, that help us to empathize with him. And I also very much enjoyed Angelina Jolie's character Athena. I really liked the arc they gave her, and I'm not spoiling anything on that. Like you kind of have to see the film. Sure, Richard Madden and Gemma Chan are kind of left as like the nominal leads and kind of generic like love interest kind of roles, but they were very likable characters, and you cared about them whenever like bad stuff happened. But also, I really like the Glaswegian representation of the MCU with Richard Madden being able to use his own accent. But if if you're watching this from Glasgow, that probably enjoyed that. Yeah. Another issue I had with it is that at times like the CGI could be like kind of shaky as well. Like there's some shots where it does kind of stick out in the fight scenes, and the deviants as well kind of looked a bit like generic CGI creatures. But overall, technically this film is very well made. But there are shots where the CGI is done very well. It's just there's a few shots throughout where it does kind of stick out a bit. And like, even the final act as well doesn't just succumb to the usual big CGI final battle skybeam thing. Like you have to see it for yourself, because I felt the stakes there. And and yeah, the 2 credit sequences are really good and definitely essential to sit through if you're because they teach big things for the future, which I am keeping tight-lipped on. And it was seeing a Marvel film in cinema and sitting through the credits, getting to the extra scenes, like it's if you're doing this at home by yourself, like you're missing out on a religious experience. But overall, I really enjoyed Eternals. Is it perfect? No. Yeah. But it is ambitious and bold, and you know what? It is admirably flawed. But, I would much rather, admire a film. I'd much rather see a film like this try its absolute best and not be quite entirely perfect than much like a factory made like soulless generic CGI heavy blockbuster over and over again. Please, Marvel, give us more of this. where you can kind of work on. And this could probably mark the beginning of a new filmmaker-driven era of Marvel Studios, hopefully. And overall, I'm going to give Eternals a 7 out of 10. Like, it's not the best MCU film, but it had its ambitions beyond what you'd normally expect of a Marvel film, and for that I really admired it. Yeah, those are my spoiler-free thoughts on Eternals. Let me know down in the comments, have you seen it? What side of the divide do you fall on? And where does this sit in your MCU ranking? Is it near the top? Is it one of the bottom tier ones, or do you just kind of see it in the middle? Let me know all that down in the comments. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're new. And don't forget to turn on post notifications so you don't miss an upload.